Here is what's coming up in today's Frontline compilation. A Ukrainian sapper crawls toward a Russian pillbox near Kostiantynivka with a TM-62 mine. He sets it and backs away. Count the beats and watch what the bunker does next. A Russian drone sprinkles small petal mines across open ground. The pattern looks random, the effect is not. See how a few ounces of plastic can deny a field for weeks. A Russian armored vehicle rolls toward contact in Zaporizhzhia, flying two flags, one American, one Russian. The lens stays locked as the flags keep flying. Wait for the burst. A Ukrainian soldier shoulders an old farm shotgun as an FPV dives in. He steadies, picks his moment and fires. Wait for the drop. This is real footage, no effects, just raw moments from the battlefield. Subscribe to stay updated on every Frontline report and stick around to see it all unfold. Let's get into it. Ukrainian forces breached the Surovikin line near Verbov on the southern Zaporizhzhia front. Russian drone video shows Striker, Marauder, and Max Pro vehicles operating past the tank ditches and Dragon's Teeth. Under heavy artillery, troops dismount and move into the tree lines. This is the first time Ukrainian forces have breached Russia's main defensive line, known as the Surovikin line near Verbov on the southern front Zaporizhzhia, during the months-long counter-offensive. The footage focuses on vehicles pushing through and infantry taking ground behind the obstacles. Fiber optic footage from Ukraine's Signum unit shows turtle tanks kept indoors for protection. An FPV slips through a gap and hits near the engine deck or turret. The footage shows various clips of FPV strikes on these turtle tanks. No crews are shown, only the vehicles and the hits. The edit stays tight on the bays, then cuts to more an indoor target. Footage from the Ukrainian 109th Separate Mountain Assault Battalion shows sustained fires on Russian troops and equipment. Artillery, mortars, and drone-dropped munitions are used in rotation. The edit moves between impacts on fighting positions, vehicles, and paths between cover. The location where recent fighting took place is Bakhmut Front in Donetsk Oblast. There are no units in the cut, only the angles from the observing platforms. FPV video shows Ukrainian operators waiting on a mapped Russian logistics route with a parked drone. A Russian quad bike used for logistics enters the route. The drone lifts, follows the bike, and strikes. The hit and the fall are clear in the cut. From what is visible, the driver is likely severely wounded or killed. The clip sticks to the attack and the immediate aftermath. Video from the Ukrainian 414th Birds of Magyar UAV brigade opens with an FPV strike on a Russian group. The fighters scatter and run. Some appear injured. A later clip shows an attack on a motorcycle. Another sequence shows a soldier hit while asleep. Later cuts show repeated attacks on tanks, vehicles, and infantry, with multiple vehicles destroyed and troops visibly wounded. Several shots hit a timber strong point. Dust and debris surge through the frame, fragments hanging in the air. FPV and reconnaissance drone footage from Ukrainian sources in the Pokrovsk region shows a Russian-operated 107mm Type 75 MLRS found and then struck. The clip shows an FPV drone closing in to attack the device while a second drone above records the hit. Smoke rises high and the camera zooms in to confirm the launcher is seen burning. Another clip repeats the sequence. An FPV finds and strikes the North Korean Type 75 MLRS. This footage, captured by an observing drone near Kostiantynivka in Donetsk, shows a Ukrainian soldier using a TM-62 anti-tank mine to level a Russian-held pillbox. Sources claim several Russian troops had poled into the pillbox after abandoning their vehicle to escape an earlier FPV drone strike. The pillbox became only a brief refuge as a Ukrainian soldier hurled a TM-62 mine inside, and the position disappeared in a cloud of dust and debris. Footage shows a Russian 2S-1 Gvozdika self-propelled howitzer taking a direct hit from a Ukrainian kamikaze drone while moving out from dense tree cover. Fire starts on the vehicle and the surviving crew bails out while it is still rolling, sprinting away from the hole to get clear as a line of flame trails behind. A second loitering munition arrives and finishes the 2S-1. The camera follows the burning track until it stops. Fiber optic drone footage from the Ukrainian Signum unit shows several attacks against Russian troops and positions. The compilation is presented as recorded in the Lyman region. It opens on a vehicle at the tree line, then a heavy blast. Firelight spreads across the area. Another cut shows the drone closing on a soldier hiding behind a tree, then hitting him. The drone follows a moving vehicle, then strikes it. The camera tracks targets, guides strikes, and cuts to impact points. The final cut shows a soldier raising his rifle at the drone, but he fails to stop it. Russian sources release drone footage of mines dropped in open ground to build a randomized minefield. The drops are spaced across fields and paths to stop movement by the opposing force. From the shapes in the video, some drops appear to be PFM-1 Petal mines. Though the footage alone is hard to confirm, the view stays overhead as the drone scatters items and the pattern spreads. After the war, patrols return grid by grid to tape off fields and post warning signs. But unfound mines still injure civilians years after fighting ends. Fields stay idle, repairs slow, and whole blocks remain avoided. This method halts movement in war, but the consequences continue after the war. Drone video from Ukraine's 30th Mechanized Brigade shows a small Russian squad sheltering beside a wrecked tank under a swarm of FPV drones. Near the hull, some men lie still and others are wounded, while the rest press into cover. One soldier lifts his rifle at a drone but cannot stop it. A second FPV drops onto him, leaving him badly hurt. Drone-dropped munitions keep circling and diving. Another fighter breaks from cover to run, and a drone follows and hits him. The camera stays tight on the tank as more drones come in, and the sequence ends with several men appearing badly wounded or dead. A pickup carrying Ukrainian soldiers spots an incoming FPV drone. The troops jump from the vehicle and spread out as the truck rolls to a stop. The drone detonates nearby without hitting them. After the blast, the team regroups, climbs back onto the truck, and drives on. There is no added detail on location or time. The focus stays on the quick reaction and the missed strike. In Volchansk, a Russian soldier attempts to rig a TM-62 mine as a makeshift satchel charge to hurl toward a Ukrainian position. He appears to misjudge the fuse timing, and the mine detonates before he can release it. According to the source, similar accidents occurred at least 4 times with Russian troops in the same month, underscoring the risks of improvised handling. Russian state media shows a Russian armored vehicle driving toward contact in Zaporizhzhia while flying both a Russian flag and an American flag. The camera tracks the approach as the vehicle moves into range of Ukrainian forces. The clip was released shortly after a meeting between Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump in Alaska, presented as context for the flag choice. A strike follows. Smoke pours from the rear of the vehicle, streaming in a long trail behind. Footage from the Ukrainian 414th Drone Brigade Wormbusters shows kamikaze drone strikes against Russian artillery. The footage opens on a strike against a Russian position. After the hit, thick black smoke rolls across the site. A later cut hits a howitzer concealed under foliage and netting. Another sequence shows a mortar system inside dense woods. After the impact, the position burns. Further clips track a support vehicle along a lane. The drone follows, strikes, and the vehicle catches fire as a dark plume spreads. Footage from the Ukrainian Army's Novem group shows a Russian Ural supply truck targeted by Ukrainian drones in the Kursk region. The truck is moving when an FPV slams into it. Unbeknownst to the crew, it is loaded with rockets intended for MLRS rearm. Flames and secondary blasts set off the rounds in the bed, sending them away in random directions. A thick smoke column spreads across the area as the truck burns. The camera holds for a long stretch, and the vehicle becomes hard to recognize. Drone footage from the Myron platoon of the 3rd Assault Brigade, south of Bakhmut, shows 2 Russian soldiers stepping out of a shattered building and drifting into open ground. A Ukrainian 2-man team waits off to the left, concealed and close. When the pair walk into their lane, the Ukrainians fire. Both men drop, then keep moving on the ground. The one on the right tries to crawl, follow-up rounds hit, and he goes still. The other is engaged until there is no more motion. The Ukrainian team holds position, then withdraws without touching the bodies. A compilation from the 3rd Assault Brigade begins with an attack on a soldier riding a motorcycle, followed by FPV drone strikes targeting troops across multiple cuts. The footage then highlights repeated hits on enemy antenna masts, captured in a steady progression. Additional strikes are shown on Russian positions, EW equipment, and armored vehicles, with direct impacts visibly destroying the targets. Most of the footage originates from the Kharkiv region, with edits focusing on the drone's approach, dive, and the moment of detonation. Footage from the Ukrainian 3rd Motorized Unit shows a bridge in the Belgorod region destroyed. The source states the bridge had TM-62 mines planted by Russian troops, and a Ukrainian FPV drone detonated them. The clip shows the span breaking and falling. The explanation given is that the mines were prepared to block a possible advance, and the detonation was triggered remotely. The edit stays on the structure and the collapse. A video from Ukraine's Intelligence Directorate GUR shows a joint action with local resistance members in occupied Melitopol. A minibus carrying Russian personnel is destroyed. The source states 5 occupants are killed. The clip is presented as a separate incident from other releases in the area, earlier in the month. Those killed are reported to be from the Akhmat unit. The video is brief and focuses on the vehicle before and after the blast. A short clip from the 225th Separate Assault Regiment's Black Swans shows a Mk-19 automatic grenade launcher firing near Oleksivka in Sumy Oblast. An observing drone watches the bursts walk in on Russian positions. The team works the belt steadily, adjusting onto targets as the camera tracks impacts. There is only the launcher cycling and grenades hitting along the tree line and open ground. Footage from Ukraine's Intelligence Directorate, GUR, shows a sabotage action in Melitopol, Zaporizhzhia. A depot holding ammunition and small arms is wired to blow. The team waits until a Russian truck arrives, then triggers the blast. Reports claim Russian Marines and a drone team were in the truck, with dead and wounded. The sequence focuses on the arrival, detonation, and burning site. Drone video from the 45th Separate Artillery Brigade opens on a Russian artillery position at the edge of dense forest. An overhead drone records the strike and the vehicle burning. The sequence steps through targets and ends with 6 artillery pieces destroyed. After each strike, smoke, dust, and burning vehicles fill the frame. The camera cuts to the aftermath of every hit to confirm damage as vehicles ignite. The footage illustrates a detect-locate strike cycle guided by drones. Cameras cut to impacts and burning positions. GoPro footage posted by a Ukrainian soldier shows a Russian FPV drone brought down at close range with an old farm shotgun. The gun looks like a battered farm shed piece. The clip is straightforward. Spot the drone, shoulder the gun, pick the moment, and fire. The drone breaks apart in front of the camera, coming apart mid-air. Helmet camera video from a Russian DRG patrol shows a reconnaissance team northwest of Pokrovsk. They come upon a dead Ukrainian soldier, fire multiple rounds into the body, then move in for a dead check to ensure it is safe to search. The source notes that footage of this type is rarely released by Russian forces and may not be authorized. That's today's raw footage. No filters, no fluff. This is M6 Archive. Always first on the front lines. Subscribe and share if you want more.